Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
I don't believe it. Your Uncle Joe is running.
Can't you?
Joe, take it easy.
Hey,
You don't say.
Remember when the DA was campaigning, he said he was going to blow the roof off the county courthouse?
Yeah.
Well, he just did. It's gone.
You mean somebody took it?
They can't find it. They got an explosion. They can't find it.
Oh, Uncle Joe.
Yeah, it was an accident. The DA was summing up his case before the jury when he flicked his cigar ashes in Exhibit A, and pow, there went the roof.
Did anybody get hurt?
No.
What was Exhibit A?
It was cleaning solvent. No, wait a minute, that was Exhibit C. Exhibit B is a fire alarm box.
Solvent, fire alarm box, fire extinguisher. What kind of a case is it?
Shoplifting.
Eustace Parkle.
Hey, you know what they found in his room besides the solvent and the fire extinguisher and the fire alarm box? 50 pounds of ski wax, 3 pairs of binoculars, 10 cameras.
Poor Eustace. I guess they'll put him away for sure this time.
Yeah, probably. But you know you can never be sure. He demanded a jury trial. Probably go on for days and days.
Well, that'll make the Pixley Hotel happy. That'll make the 8th locked-up jury they've had this month.
How come they get all the jury business?
Well, they're handy to the courthouse.
Yeah, well, supposing they were full up, what would they do with the jury then?
Oh, don't worry, Uncle Joe. They're never filled up any more than we are.
There might be a convention or something.
What kind of convention?
That's right. I'm the Royal Order of the American Buffalo Head. I'm the head. What do you mean you've never heard of our organization? Didn't you see the newsreel pictures of us parading down Broadway last Thanksgiving Day? Holding on to all them big blowed-up animals? What I wanted to talk to you about is taking over your hotel there in Pixley for an informal convention we just decided to throw. Tonight. Why not? What jury? Well, look, mister, if you'd rather have a jury stand there instead of 100 free-spinning heads. What? Why don't you call the sheriff and tell him to put his jury someplace else?
An informal convention of what? The Royal Order of American Buffalo Herds?
Head. How are things going, Sheriff?
I never heard of them. Having a big parade when?
Thanksgiving.
They march holding on to what?
Big blowed-up animals.
Look, Joe, when you butt out, this is official business.
Who are you talking to?
The desk clerk at the Pixley Hotel.
Let me talk to him.
Wait a minute.
Hi, Toby. It's Joe Carson. Yeah, I hear you're having a big informal convention over there. Yeah, well, news gets around this town fast. Hey, they must be a great bunch of guys, them buffalo heads marching on Thanksgiving.
Hello, look. I need some rooms to lock up the Pockle jury tonight. Well, all right, then check with your manager.
He's kind of a spot with the highway commission, huh?
He said what? I guess you people have forgotten all the business I've been sending your way. This would make the 8th jury this month. All right, if you won't play ball, there's a few violations around that hotel that I've been overlooking. All right, you'll be hearing from me, though.
You know, Sheriff, it's a lucky thing for you I dropped in just when I did.
I don't feel that way about it.
What with you needing rooms for your jury and me being the manager of the Shady Rest Hotel?
Say, do you think Kate could put him up?
Well, we're pretty busy right now.
The county pays $3 a day.
Make it 4?
$3 a juror. The court sets the price.
3.5.
3. There are a few violations at the Shady Rest that I've overlooked, too.
Okay, $3. We ain't uncivic minded like that Pixley Hotel. Forget our civic duty the minute a bunch of buffalo heads come to town.
Who's coming?
The jury.
What jury?
The Eustace Paco jury.
Well, what are they coming here for?
Kate, a lucky thing happened. The Pixley Hotel's all filled up and they're expecting a convention.
What convention?
The Royal Order of American Buffalo Heads.
Uncle Joe, what's the jury coming here for?
Well,
Did you hijack the jury?
Kate, that Pixley Hotel's been robbing the county blind for years, charging $3 a day.
Well, we couldn't do it for any less.
Don't worry, Kate. We're getting 4. $3 for the room and board, and I didn't mention the blankets. That's where the other dollar will come from.
Oh. I wonder what it'll cost the county for the jury when you're on trial.
Kate, they'll be here any minute. We've got to figure out where we're going to put them.
You got them here. You figure it out.
It ain't hard. Bailiff gave me a list of all the names. You just got to go at it scientific.
Go.
Lend me that. Now, this parsley peeled potato is Otis Clute.
It does have his eyes.
Well, now, Otis is in number 5. Let's see, who we put in with him? Oh, how about Jim Updegraff?
Cucumber doesn't agree with Otis Clute.
He'll only be there for one night. Now, at number 6, we put this tomato. That's Roma Kittleson.
That's Roma's figure, all right.
I got her bunking with Eleanor Standish.
Oh, how about this eggplant for Eleanor?
Okay. Now, this radish is Rudy Blanche. I got him in number 7 with Bruce Bigelow, the bell pepper.
Oh, you can't do that.
Why not?
Because Rudy Radish and Bruce Bell Pepper don't get along.
That's right. Well, then I'll have to switch the pepper for the cucumber and the radish for the potato.
Oh, Uncle Joe, that's splendid. Now, where are we going to sleep?
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll work out a way. What's the matter?
There's somebody out here wants to see you.
Who?
Me. Each.
More pancakes, Mom. And more bacon.
You know something? If that jury deliberates half as fast As they eat, they're going to be out of here before lunch.
Hi, Vince.
Take you, bitch. Where do you think you're going?
What, to eat my breakfast?
What, not in the dining room. You ain't. The jury's in there.
Well, where am I supposed to eat?
In the kitchen.
Okay.
Go in the dining room nor through it. Now, you go on around the back way.
Being Bill is sort of going to your head, Vince Tucker. Remember, I knew you when you were in charge of muzzles for the sheriff's bloodhound.
Oh, when are they going to stop eating and start deliberating?
You imagine the nerve of that bailiff making me walk all the way around the house to get my breakfast? Well, what do we got? I'm hungry as a bear.
Here you are, Smokey.
You call that breakfast?
You're the one that brought the jury here.
More bacon.
Poor Eustace Pockle. He's being tried by a panel of vultures.
You can't sit in the lobby.
Why not?
'Cause nobody ain't allowed to overhear the jury deliberating.
Well, for crying out loud, they've been deliberating for 2 days now. What's taking them so long? It's got to be them women. One woman on a jury's bad enough, but this one's got to have 5.
Joe, I told you to...
Women never know when to shut up. It's blah, 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 blah all the time.
Joe, will you
This was an all-man jury. It would have been over and done with. If Eustace was guilty, he'd be in jail. If he was innocent, he'd be out shoplifting again. Now, you take Sissy Waldo in there.
Joe, Carson, you don't shut up. I'm going to ban you from the hotel. Now, you get out of this lobby while the jury's in session.
How come you can stay?
What'd you say?
How about that?
Kate, they've reached a decision.
At last, what is it?
They're ready for lunch.
They must be starved. They haven't had a bite to eat in at least an hour. Well, I see you're in the same old place. You know, if that jury doesn't reach a verdict pretty soon, I'm moving the stove and the icebox into the dining room.
Kate, that jury is a hard one to figure out.
They have took 15 ballots, but I don't never hear no argument going on.
How could you? Their mouths are always full.
The door, Floyd.
I can't, Charlie. I got my hands full.
Well, what do you think I got? Hi, Kate. Hi, Vince.
Hi, Kate. Hi, Vince. Elmer, say hello to Kate and Vince.
Elmer?
Elmer can't talk. He ain't got his teeth yet.
Oh, hey, Grandpa Miller can talk and he ain't got teeth.
Well, you can talk and you ain't got brains. Give the baby to Kate.
The baby to Kate?
Sarah Haverstraw's youngest.
What are you doing with it?
Well, she gave Elmer to Mrs. Duncan while she's serving on the jury.
Mrs. Duncan was only supposed to babysit for 3 hours, but like she said, lo and behold, it's been 3 days.
So Mrs. Duncan gave us Elmer so she could get back to her own family.
Elmer liked riding up in the cab with us, but I guess he got a little train sick.
Yeah.
Here, you'll need this, Kate. Elmer stuff. The trouble with taking care of a baby in the cab is you either overheat the bottle or it don't get hot enough.
Well, Elmer doesn't seem any the worse for it. Who put this diaper on?
I did.
Well, Floyd, a diaper goes around the baby's hips, not around his shoulders.
Now, we better get back to the train. Floyd, give Kate them instructions that come with Elmer.
Oh, yeah. Listen careful, Kate. This is Elmer's formula. He gets it every 3 hours, and he gets vitamins once a day. Oh, one important thing Mrs. Duncan told us. Don't drop him.
I'll try to remember. This baby needs its mother.
Hold on there, Kate. Ain't no babies allowed in the jury room.
Oh, Vince, look at this poor, helpless infant. How could it possibly influence a jury? Besides which, I don't think he even knows Eustace Pockle.
Sorry?
Keep that baby quiet. Kate, you gotta do something.
Well, I'm trying, but I can't find his volume control.
Well, you've had 3 of your own.
I'm a little out of practice, but I will try and... Look what Floyd used to fasten his diaper. A cotter pin off the cannonball. Come on, Elmer. You're under new management.
Joe, tell him to take it easy.
I will. Stop your belly. You'll get your dinner. You babies are all alike. Always fussing over something minor like food. Shame yourself.
I'll take him, Uncle Joe.
What good is he? All he does is lay around waiting for somebody to feed him. Hasn't done an honest day's work in his life. All he does is find fault.
Yes. And he even looks like you.
Kate.
I know. Dinner. That's a good boy. Now you see that Elmer doesn't roll off the bed. from? I just got him quieted down. Maybe we'll have a little peace around here. What's that?
Just some chickens cackling in the lobby.
Chickens in the lobby? Betty Jo, you've been working too hard. Betty Jo, there are chickens in the lobby.
Quiet down, girls. Boys, you heard the bailiff. Quiet down.
Quiet! There's a jury deliberating in there.
Don't keep quiet. You'll have to go.
Well, they're gonna have to go anyway. This is the Shady Rest, not the Shady Roost. Betty Jo, see if you can clear them out of here. How did they get here anyway?
On the cannonball. They're Trink Mosley's chickens and geese. I reckon they just got lonely for Trink, him being on jury duty so long.
When we stopped at Schaefer's Crossing, the chickens got aboard. We didn't know it until we got almost here.
Well, you can just herd them back on the train and take them back to Mosley's farm.
There ain't nobody there. Trink's boy's gone back to college.
Don't worry, Kate. We'll bring the feed on our next run.
Yeah, come on, boys.
Boys!
We gotta get back to the cannonball.
Boys, wait a minute. I'm sorry, madam, but the hotel is full up. All right, Big Mouth, see what you did? You woke up Elmer.
What does Charlie Floyd mean? Hey, this is a great idea. There's enough drumsticks here for the entire jury.
Look how contented Elmer is. You'd be contented, too, if you didn't have to eat this hash.
It isn't fair. The jury's in the dining room eating chicken and dumplings, and we're in the hot kitchen eating hash.
Did you get them all fed?
Mm-hmm. I took care of Otis Clute's pigs, Fillmore Clagg's ducks. I watered Sissy Waterford's geese, and your Uncle Joe is feeding Morton Colgrove's goats. And I guess that takes care of the jury's animals. How's little Elmer?
Kate, it's a shame you can't get in there and hear all the nice things they're saying about your food. No jury ever ate like that over in the Pixley Diner.
No. Bucky Dinsmore's Guernsey. Cows, pigs, chickens, goats, geese. All we need now is a horse. Come in. We're having hash tonight. I saw Judge Gregory, and he gave me this.
It might work.
Have another dumpling, Betty Jo.
Thanks, Mom.
More chicken, Billy Joe?
Oh, thanks, Mom. Gee, this is the first real meal we've had in 3 days.
And in our very own dining room.
That jury. They haggle for 3 days, suddenly they reach a verdict, and they clear out in 2 minutes.
Yeah, Mom. What was in that note you gave to the bailiff?
You can read it for yourself. It's a court order from Judge Gregory. He ruled that until the jury reached a verdict, they would have to eat all their meals at the Pixley Diner.
Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
They're lovely.
Oh, I didn't hear you come in.
This is charming. Absolutely charming. And the conductor told me all about you. I assume you're Mrs. Bradley.
Yes, and you're,
I hope you received our letter reserving 2 rooms.
you're Mr. Dobble.
No, I am David Benton. This is Mr. Dobble. Now, about those rooms. Mr. Dobble asked in his letter if he could have a room with a southern exposure, and you can give me an adjoining. What? All right, Dobble. You don't have to create a scene. Now he wants a room with a northern exposure.
Well, Please,
Mrs. Bradley. Look, Dobble, why be so fussy? A room is a room. Now, Mrs. Bradley, will you stop tugging at my sleeve? We'll discuss this later. I'm sorry. It's been an exhausting trip.
well, if you're not used to the cannonball, it can jiggle your brains a little loose.
I'll register if you don't mind.
Oh, yes, of course. There we are. David Benton, Weehawken, New Jersey. How about Mr.
Dobble, will you stand still? He sprained his wrist. Does it hurt? Oh. Well, I'll sign for him.
Sorry about your wrist. Donald D. Dobble. Oh, he's from Weehawken, too.
Oh, yes. We've been in business together for years.
Oh. He's your silent partner.
Beg your pardon?
You're a musician?
Oh, this? Oh, no. Mr. Dobble is the musician. After the tensions of the day, the saxophone kind of relaxes him.
He doesn't look like a musician.
He doesn't? Well, that's funny. Most people think he does. Well, anyway, can we have our keys?
Oh, yes. Mr. Benton, you're in number 7, and Mr. Dobble is number 5.
Here, I'll take it. Now, Dobble, leave the luggage alone. You'll strain your wrist again. Give it a chance to heal. Come on.
I want you to be extra quiet while Mr. Benton is here. He needs all the rest he can get. And if Mr. Benton talks to his friend, Mr. Dobble, and you don't hear Mr. Dobble or see him, you act like you do. Understand?
Hey, look what that new guest Mr. Benton just gave me.
Uncle Joe, I want you to give that right back.
Why should I?
Well, it's a little hard to explain. Now, Mr. Benton's a very nice man, but...
I'll say he is. You know what this buck's for? Just bringing an extra towel to his friend, Mr. Dobble.
You met Mr. Dobble?
No, just Mr. Benton. Dobble was in the bathtub.
Are you sure?
Well, somebody's got the water running.
Probably Mr. Benton.
Well, Benton had already had his bath. Say, I'd better stand by in case they need more service.
Mr. Dobble. Oh, I thought Mr. Dobble might like a little hot cocoa. I was going to get yours later.
Well, that's very thoughtful of you, Mrs. Bradley. I'm afraid Mr. Dobble is taking a nap.
Oh?
However, I could certainly use some.
Where you doing that ladder, Kate?
What letter?
The one you're fussing with.
Oh, this old thing. Well, I was going to wash the windows on this side of the hotel.
What's the matter with you, Kate? The girls washed them windows this morning.
Well, I know that, but remember the old saying, twice clean window is a nice clean window.
What? That don't make sense.
Now, Uncle Joe, don't argue with old sayings. Now, tell me, have I got this under number 5?
5? That's Mr. Doble's window.
Well, hasn't he got a right to clean windows?
Well, sure he has, but...
Well, and don't talk so loud. He's taking a nap. Yeah, but you can run along now, Uncle Joe. I won't need you.
Won't you be needing the bucket?
Oh, yeah, I guess it will.
Hey, Mom, we're home.
Are you sure?
You're funny.
Yeah, you're home, all right.
Mom, are you okay?
Oh, yes, I'm fine. I've never felt better.
Did Mr. Dobble and his friend get here?
Oh, yes, they're both here, I think.
What? What's Mr. Dobble like?
Mr. Benton's very charming. He's kind of tall and handsome and dresses nicely, and I'd say he's, about 35.
What's Mr. Dobble look like?
Well, he's a little hard to describe.
Is he good looking like Mr. Benton?
Oh, no. I mean, yes. Well, yes and no.
Is he tall or short?
Well, he's a little of both.
He can't be both. Which is he?
Now, girls, look, you both had a hard, strenuous day at school and a long trip home on the cannonball, and you're tired. So why don't you rush up to your rooms and lie down and take a nice, good, long rest?
But we're not...
Now, Mother knows, on your way. Forget what I said about Mr. Benton and keep an eye on me. Mr. Dobble. Mr. Dobble, I thought you'd like to see the paper. Plays of Shakespeare. Ralph Shakespeare? Well, I know something about him. He reads and he smokes. And he's married. Well, it's normal. Betty Jo, I just thought that maybe Mr. Dobble would like to read the paper.
Why don't you put it in his room? He can read it when he gets back from his walk.
Which way'd he go?
I don't know. I didn't see him.
He told you he was going for a walk and you didn't see him?
That's silly. He didn't tell me. Bobby Joe did.
Well, why didn't you say so? All right. Which way did he go?
Who?
You know, Mr. Dobble.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see him leave.
Now, don't you start that.
Start what?
Betty Jo said you told her Mr. Dobble went for a walk.
Well, that's what Uncle Joe said.
If you just calm down and listen, Dobble borrowed my fishing pole.
Then you saw him.
Nope. I gave it to Benton to give to Dobble. Why?
Questions. Why doesn't somebody give me an answer? Anyway, he's got to show up for dinner tonight.
I knocked on their doors again, Mom. Mr. Benton said they'll be down in a minute.
Gee, you were sure right about Mr. Benton.
Yes, he sure is nice.
What do you think of Mr. Dobble?
Oh, we haven't met him yet.
Well, I think you'll find him kind of interesting.
Honestly, Dobble, you're impossible. Now get this, I'm not going to put up with this nonsense much longer.
Uncle Joe, sit down.
Why do you have to take everything as a personal attack? All I said was that some fathead in the Home Office lost the account. Wait a minute, Dobble. Come back here. Where are you going? Good evening, folks.
Good evening, Mr. Benton. That's your place. And that's Mr. Dobble's.
I'll have to apologize for my partner. He won't be joining us tonight.
Oh?
Oh, that chicken looks good.
You know, it's a shame Mr. Dobble's going to miss dinner. Maybe if I went after
No,
it...
no, Mrs. Bradley. Let him sulk. Let him sulk. If he wants to be silly enough to pass up a meal like this, well, I'll just eat his share.
There must be a Mr. Dobble. Did you hear that? You didn't, huh? I must be losing my mind. toot your head off. I don't hear a darn thing.
Morning, Mom.
Morning, Billy Joe.
I'm Bobby Joe.
Well, I know that.
Didn't you sleep well last night, Mom?
I slept just fine. Now, you better eat your breakfast or you're going to be late for school.
Morning, Mom.
Morning.
Didn't you sleep well last night?
Billy Joe, I slept just fine.
I'm not Billy Joe.
I know that. She's in the dining room.
That was Bobby Joe.
Look, you take these eggs in there with whatever her name is and eat your whatchamacallit.
Gee.
Kate. Gee, Kate, you look awful.
Thanks. A woman could go all day on a compliment like that.
Well, you do look awful, Kate. Just look at those circles under your eyes. They look like you're wearing stove lids.
You fix your own breakfast.
What's wrong with Mom? I don't know. I never saw her so upset.
She must be overworked.
We better come right home as soon as school's out.
Uncle Joe, are you going to eat all day?
Well, it's a good idea, but...
You've had enough.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Benton.
Hi, Ben. Where's your partner?
I'm afraid Mr. Dobble overslept. Oh, listen, I hope his saxophone playing didn't disturb any of you last night.
Oh, no, I enjoyed it.
You mean Mr. Dobble did play the saxophone?
Well, he's better than Liberace.
Mr. Benton, you sit down and I'll fix your breakfast, and Uncle Joe, I'll fill up your plate so you can keep Mr. Benton company. Mr. Dobble played the saxophone.
Can't stay cooped up in your room all day, Dobble. After all, why did we come way out here in the country? Oh, forget about those letters. You can write them later. Come on, a walk will do you some good.
Oh. You're, going for a walk? Both of you?
Well, I hope so. It's like pulling teeth to get Dobble out of his room.
How did Mr. Dobble like his lunch? I mean, how did you like your lunch, Mr. Dobble?
Yeah, just like your mother's, huh? That's a real compliment, believe me.
Thank you, Mr. Dobble.
All right, come on, Dobble. Let's get a lung full of that fresh country air. I'll tell you what. First, we'll go down to the water tank. Oh, no, you don't. You're not going to pull that again. Get up out of that chair. You know, you should have stayed in Weehawken. All right, do what you want to do, but you're not going to ruin my fun. Sit in that chair all day.
Mr. Dobble, you really should have... Well, if you want to sit there, it's perfectly all right.
Gee, I hope Mom is...
As long as you're going to sit there, then read. Oh, excuse me. A book or a magazine? Or, how about a nice tall glass of lemonade?
Oh, poor Mom. It's gotten worse. Hi.
Oh, girls, you're home early.
Kate, I want to ask you something.
Not right now, Uncle Joe. I got to get Mr. Dobble a glass of lemonade. Excuse me.
Mom, there isn't anybody there.
Oh, he's there, all right.
That upset the girls, huh?
All that fuss. You'd think nobody'd ever seen an invisible man before.
You saw an invisible man, huh, Kate?
Yes. Is there anything wrong with that?
No. Invisible men are as thick as invisible flies. Well, tell me more about this invisible Mr. Double.
Dobble. Donald D. Dobble.
Oh, yeah, he's the one that wrote you the letter, huh?
I told you that, Sam.
Yeah, well, let me see if I got this all straight. Now, this Mr. Dobble never eats with you, and Benton is always arguing with him. And yet nobody's ever heard Dobble talk. In fact, you're the only one that's ever been in the room when he was there.
That's right. What are you doing, Sam?
I'm looking for that magazine. There's an article in it that just fits what you told me.
An article on invisible men?
No. Well, I must have given it away to the Boy Scout paper drive. No, it was an article by this psychologist, and he was explaining how a lot of strange things happen.
Oh?
Yeah, what you told me comes under the head of sympathetic hallucination. It's as simple as that.
Well, it may be simple to you, Sam, but it isn't to me. You mean that I've got hallucinations?
Yeah. No, this fella Benton has hallucinations. You see, he thinks there's a Mr. Dobble, and through the power of suggestion, he's got you thinking there's a Mr. Dobble.
Oh. You mean that Mr. Dobble is a figment of Mr. Benton's imagination, and his figment got tangled up with my figment?
That's right.
Thanks, Sam. I think. Mr. Benton's figment, Mr. Dobble.
Gee, Mr. Dobble sure wears expensive shirts. After all, he does come from Weehawken. If I knew a man with shirts like these, I could sew buttons on them all day long.
Where's Mr. Benton?
Mom, we just finished sewing a button on Mr. Dobble's shirt.
That isn't a shirt, that's another figment.
Figment? It's a shirt, feel it.
My lands. That sympathetic hallucination is contagious. Now you girls have got it. Mr. Benton's got to go. Mr. Benton! Mr. Benton!
Ah, Mrs. Bradley, you're back. Did you pick up any mail for me?
Mr. Benton, I'm going to have talk with you. I'm going to need your room, so you and Mr. Dobble are going to have to check out.
But, Mrs. Bradley, we reserved the rooms for 3 weeks.
Well, I'm sorry, but a convention completely slipped my mind.
Convention?
Well, you girls remember that? The State Department's taken over the entire hotel. There's a delegation of little invisible green men from Mars, and they're going to check in here in 10 minutes.
Mom.
Now, there's very little time, so you better pack, both of you.
Well, Mrs. Bradley, this leaves Mr. Dobble and me in a rather embarrassing position. If we leave now, we won't be able to pay our bill. I was expecting a sizable check.
Well, just forget it. The room and board's on the house. It's been nice having you, and goodbye. Shh. Well, number 5's all back to normal again.
If there wasn't a Mr. Dobble, who slept in this bed?
Oh, well, you see, that was all part of poor Mr. Benton's hallucinations. Sam read this article, and...
Mom, somebody's downstairs.
Now, who could that be?
Well, don't you remember? It's those invisible little green men from Mars.
Mrs. Bradley, do you recognize this man?
Certainly. It's Mr. Benton from Weehawken.
Sure is.
Well, he's not from Weehawken, and his name isn't Benton. The Hotel Association knows him as Skip Tracy. We've been after him for years.
What for?
Defrauding innkeepers.
Well, he didn't get a chance to do any defrauding around here.
Well, you're lucky. Skip has a very unusual gimmick. He can make you think he's traveling around with an invisible friend. He does it all with the power of suggestion and sound effects.
Uh-huh.
Yes, he keeps it up until the hotel manager thinks he's flipping his lid, and he throws Skip out. That way, Skip never has to pay for his room and board.
Imagine for falling for a thing like that.
Imagine. Well, I better tip off the manager of the Pixley Hotel.
Bye, Mr. Robinson. Give my best to Mr. Dobble. Well, certainly good to know that there's a logical explanation for all this.
Yeah, Mr. Benton sure had us all believing there really was a Mr. Dobble.
Yeah.
been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
To your letter of the 14th, I shall be in your neighborhood soon to inspect the Shady Rest Hotel for a possible convention.
A convention? Gee, that's terrific. Now do you suppose we can get that new set of encyclopedias?
Puppy Joe, we haven't even landed it yet, and you've got the money spent.
Mom, you're a cinch to get it.
Sure, you just need confidence.
You're going to need more than confidence. He is also considering the Pixley Hotel.
The Pixley Hotel?
Mm-hmm. He's going to look us both over.
What do they have that we don't have?
An elevator for one thing, telephone for another.
But when he tastes your cooking, Mom, he'll be hooked.
That, young lady, is my ace in the hole. Now, I've got a lot of work to do. Where's Billy Joe? Well, let's see. What's number 4 going to need outside of a new room?
Well, first of all, it could stand some new wallpaper.
Oh, you're right. This wallpaper's been up so long, the roses need pruning. Number 4, new rose pattern wallpaper. Repair cracked ceiling. Woodwork needs varnishing. And I think the hallway can stand a coat of paint.
Paint? You expect me to paint the hall, too?
And so you don't forget, Billy Joe, give him the notes.
Here you are, Uncle Joe.
Oh, I can't read them chicken scratches.
Oh, they're shorthand. I'll transcribe them for you.
I like the hotel the way it is. It's kind of got a homey look about it.
Shabby, you mean? Uncle Joe, we've lost 2 conventions already, and we can't afford to lose another one.
Okay. Would you mind telling me what kind of a convention we're getting ready for?
The Benevolent Order of Dolphins.
Dolphins. Might have known it had been one of them bird-watching societies.
Dolphins aren't birds.
Hey, why don't you just lower the rates? Pixley Hotel will never be able to compete against that.
Look, we are operating on such a narrow margin now that if a guest uses an extra towel, we're in the red. Now, why don't you get on with the painting, and I'll go to Sam Drucker's and get the supplies.
Oh, the way you're dolling up the Shady Rest, you'll get that convention for certain.
I sure hope so. Seems like we haven't had a convention since the Braddock Company brought out their new line of pearl button spats.
Well, they were great. My ankles ain't been warm since they went out of style. You want me to total this up for you now?
Why don't you surprise me the first of the month?
That reminds me. A letter come for you in the late mail. Oh, you better have this first.
Aspirin? But I don't have a headache.
You will have when you see who the letter's from.
Tax assessor. Ooh, Sam. Isn't as bad as I thought. They only increased our taxes $6.
$6 increase? Why, them filibustery, pork-barreling, feather-bedding politicians, ain't they got nothing better to do than to raise a man's taxes?
I don't know what you're getting so steamed up about. I'm the one who has to pay them.
Well, it's a good thing I'm around here. You'd let them walk all over you, Kate.
Uncle Joe, nobody's walking all over me. I expected the taxes to be raised sooner or later.
Kate, I ain't taking this lying down. When I get through, the Boston Tea Party will look like a coffee clutch. And get this, Mr. Tax Assessor. Joe Carson, the general manager of the Shady Rest Hotel, ain't gonna sit still for no tax squeeze to line some grafting politician's pockets. Got that?
Uncle Joe, isn't that kind of strong?
I'm just getting warmed up. Read back what you got so far.
Dear Mr. Tax Assessor.
Hold it right there. Scratch out that dear. I want them to know I mean business. Kate, you got nothing to worry about. This letter I wrote the tax board's a cinch to get our taxes lowered.
You mind if I read it?
Masterpiece, ain't it? That ought to shake 'em up.
It already shook me up. It's not only impolite, impertinent, inaccurate, and impossible, but...
Kate, there comes a time when you've got to stand up for your rights. Put your foot down.
I am putting my foot down. Leave well enough alone. It's only $6.
Kate, it ain't the money, it's the principle.
Uncle Joe, how come with you it is always the principle and never the money?
T-A-X-E-S, taxes. A-R-E-R. Or, how do you spell outrageous? Never saw such a dumb mutt. Taxes are T-O-2-H-I-I, period. There. Women. They don't understand how to handle bureaucrats. It's a good thing they got me around to look after their interests.
Was this the only tax complaint we received from Hooterville, Miss Starkey?
Yes, sir. Just the one. Mr. Joe Carson, Shady Rest Hotel.
It seems he not only demands we lower his taxes, but claims it's unpatriotic, unconstitutional, un-American, undemocratic, and unlegal. Unlegal? That's a lot of uns.
Shall I send him our usual form letter, Mr. Albright?
Yeah. No, on second thought. This one sounds like a real nut. I'd better go out there and handle it personally. $6?
What about me picking out the material? I got good taste, ain't I?
Uncle Joe, picking curtains is a woman's job. Now, would you please clean up the hotel? I don't want it looking like a depressed area. Come on, girls.
Women. They're all alike. Running off when there's work to be done. There. What's wrong with this contraption? I know. No wonder this place looks like a depressed area. There's only one man to do all the work. Depressed area. That gives me an idea on how to deal with that tax man.
Train's right here, Mr. Forbes. You can go ahead and get on. Floyd and Charlie will be along in a minute.
Thank you.
Where have you fellers been?
And over at the barber shop watching haircuts.
Yeah, we watched Dobie Shortridge get his haircut, and then we watched Jed Watson get his
Yeah, well,
haircut.
some other time, Floyd. You know who just got on that train?
Who?
Mr. Forbes, the fella that's going to pick a hotel for the Benevolent Dolphins Convention.
Well, don't worry about a thing, Sam. We'll tell Mr. Forbes how great Kate's place is.
The Shady Rest is right up that gently sloping path, Mr. Forbes.
Yeah, right by them beautiful roses and hollyhocks. You can't miss it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Now, we'll be taking on a little water here at the tank, and if you like, we'll wait and take you to Pixley.
If the Shady Rest is 1/8 as good as you fellows say it is, there's no point of my going on to Pixley.
That ought to bring tears to his eyes. I know the train's in. How many times do you have to tell me? Somebody's coming, huh? Why didn't you say so? I knew my letter'd get action. Come on in, it's open. Terribly sorry. We've been meaning to get this fixed. The price of nails is so high, we just couldn't see our way clear.
I'm Whitney Forbes. I assume you got my letter.
Joe Carson, you got mine too, didn't you?
Of course, that's why I'm here.
Yes. Well, come on in, I'll show you around the lobby. Would you mind giving me a hand with this door? Forbes, I gave you the Shady Rest Hotel lobby.
Well, I'll say this for it. It's not cluttered. You remodeling?
No. Business is terrible. We had a cold winter. The furniture had to go for firewood. The rest, well, you know how high taxes is nowadays. Follow me. We'll go in the dining room.
Carson, must we carry the door?
I thought you might be hungry.
Well, as a matter of fact, I did skip lunch, but what's that got to do with carrying the door?
That's our dining room table. Swing your end around there. Well, it ain't the Ritz, but we don't get many complaints. Of course, we don't get many customers either. Here, sit down. I'll see what we got to eat. Some places go in for tea and crumpets, but we kind of go in for their heartier snacks. Go kind of easy on the cream and sugar. We're on emergency rations. Get you to eat, Mr. Forbes, and bonny appetite, as they say in France.
On second thought, I'd better skip it, Carson. Doctor's orders. No rich gourmet dishes. Could I see the rest of the hotel?
Sure.
This is your presidential suite?
Yeah. Hey, you'll notice the view. All our deluxe rooms have a view. Now, the bathroom's are way down the hall there.
Carson, I've seen enough. You've certainly got your nerve calling this antiquated barn a hotel.
I had a hunch you'd say something like that.
I was led to believe the Shady Rest was the finest hotel in the area. Well, this place ought to be condemned.
You put that in your report?
I should say so.
Good.
What?
Well, I mean, you're a good, honest man, Mr. Forbes. Between you and me, what do you think our chances are? I've been kind of worried.
That's strictly up to the board. But rest assured, Carson, when I get through writing my report, you won't have a thing to worry about.
Hold it! This is beginning to sound like a rummage sale. Sam, what do you think I should do?
Well, why don't you get all three? You've gone this far, you may as well go whole hog.
Yeah, I should change all the curtains.
And there'll be plenty of material left over for all of us.
Yeah, and I just got to land this convention.
Then I'll have a new blouse when Edward takes me to the ball game Saturday night.
You gotta spend money to make money.
And I'll look real slinky in this new material.
Sam, wrap 'em up.
Oh!
Kate, the Shady Rest is going to be the most beautiful hotel for miles around.
It must be St. Harold.
Kate, I sure had him buffaloed. We'll not only get our taxes lowered, but we may even get some of that war on poverty money.
Joe, you mean you actually... The furniture? All the low-down, underhanded, sneaky tricks.
I pulled the greatest coup d'etat since Napoleon swindled Waterloo.
You mean you made that man think of all the... You're liable to end up in jail. I'm liable to end up. I'm going down there and straighten this right out.
Okay, let's not lose our heads. You're liable to throw a monkey wrench into the works.
I'm liable to throw a monkey wrench at you. You straighten up this hotel before the convention man gets here. Is that clear?
Kate, if you just listen to me.
Not another word. I'll deal with you when I get back, you tax dodger, you.
Coming. Here in a minute. Oh, you dumb dog. That bell's for official business only.
Uncle Joe, there's someone coming up the path.
It's that convention man. I'll give him the Super Deluxe tour. Girls.
$6 tax boost?
Welcome to the Waldorf of the West, convention headquarters of the nation. Joe Carson, manager of this high-class establishment.
I'm J.C. Albright. I was requested to inspect the Shady Rest Hotel. It's a nice-looking place you have here.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Mighty handsome lobby.
Yeah, practically everything in it's a priceless antique. Furnishings alone's worth a fortune.
Is that so? We had no idea.
You'll note that members of our huge staff are constantly busy keeping the place spotless. Girls. Now, you'll notice here we've got every service you could ask for.
Racetrack information?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we got every convenience, too. New elevator ought to be in most any day now. We're converting to one of them high-speed jobs.
A high-speed elevator in a two-story building?
Oh, we got a high second floor. This staircase is genuine imported solid mahogany. Better make a note of that.
Mr. Carson, I hardly expected such cooperation. You're certainly giving me the facts.
That's why they call me Honest Joe Carson.
This pie is delicious. My compliments to Mrs. Bradley. She's an excellent cook.
Well, she should be. She studied in the Louvre in Paris. Girls, look in our fully automated kitchen and see if the imported caviar and champagne's got here yet.
Well, I must admit, you have quite a place here, Mr. Carson.
Wait till you see our recreation area. We're thinking of buying 50 more acres, putting in swimming pools, tennis courts, maybe even a landing strip.
An additional 50 acres, eh? Mr. Carson, it appears you have a prosperous operation.
I can't complain. How's it look to you?
Fine. I'll submit my report and we'll take it under advisement, Mr. Carson.
Goodbye, Mr. Albright.
Gee, Uncle Joe, you sure did a selling job on Mr. Albright. You sure did.
Boy, I'll say.
Just like taking candy from a baby. You girls can knock off now. The convention's in the bag.
It's your turn.
When on earth will that train get here?
You're very optimistic. I was wondering if.
All aboard, folks.
All aboard what?
Well, the cannonball's down the track about a quarter of a mile, and for the time being, this close we're going to get to the depot.
Why?
Well, the station master's cat's having her kittens on the track. What's the matter with you? Don't you have any respect for motherhood?
Probably just as well you dolphins ain't having your convention at Kate's place.
You're not Mr. Forbes.
I certainly am.
Well, I'm Kate Bradley of the Shady Rest.
You have my deepest sympathy. How anyone in his right mind could call that place a hotel without a stick of furniture, windowless rooms.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Then you're the... Well, Uncle Joe thought... Oh, no. Mr. Forbes, there was a mistake.
There certainly was.
No, you just got to see the Shady Rest again. I know you'll change your mind.
I'm afraid not, Mrs. Bradley.
We can be just as stubborn as you are, Mr. Forbes, and the cannonball ain't budging past the Shady Rest till you have another look.
I can bypass your miserable railroad. I'll just take a taxi to the county seat.
Not till you have another look at the Shady Rest.
Boys!
We're just giving him the soft sell, Kate.
Be careful.
No. My name's Albright.
Well, we don't carry Albright. We carry shiny gloss, though. Get away from those biscuits. I'll wait on you as soon as I've finished with this customer.
What? I said I'm the tax assessor. Now, look, I'm coming back out to the Shady Rest. Please leave a message for someone to be there. It's important.
Tax assessor? Why didn't you say so? Okay, I'll get word to him. Take this to the Shady Rest. Now hurry. All right. Here. Now go on. And don't stop for a snack along the way.
Dog biscuits. You wake a man up just to give him that? Least you could done would bring me some cigars. Oh. Taxman's coming back.
Wait till you see what we've done to the hotel, Mr. Forbes. You won't believe your eyes.
Perhaps I was a bit hasty.
Oh, I know you'll reconsider. Now, see for yourself.
And this is what it comes to according to my figures, Mrs. Bradley.
Well, that's certainly a load off of my mind.
What's that, Kate?
Oh, you must have met Mr. Carson, general manager of the Shady Rest, who just landed a convention for the Pixley Hotel.
That was a natural mistake, Kate, that anybody could have made.
Oh, not anybody, Uncle Joe. Just you.
Seems we made a mistake, too, Mr. Carson, on your tax bill over the past 10 years.
You did?
Yes. You were overcharged and have a refund coming of $126. It gives me pleasure to present you with this check, Mrs. Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. Albright. This almost makes up for losing the convention.
You mean we're getting money back?
That's right. That letter you wrote called it to our attention.
You see, Kate? You got me to thank for that. I told you it took a man of brains to handle
Oh,
the
for heaven's sake.
Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
Here you are, Mr. Baldwin. Good to have you with us again. You're up the stairs and to your left in number 7. Don't worry, Baldwin. I'll give you a break. I'll lug up the big one.
Isn't that Mr. Baldwin?
Yep.
What firm's he with now?
Same one, Puffo Marshmallows.
Isn't that funny? I heard he got a new job with a hardware company.
Either that or these marshmallows have got ball-bearing centers.
Well, don't worry, Uncle Joe. That's the last bag you're going to have to lug. The hotel's full. You know, it's a shame when we have a rush that we don't have more rooms.
Don't worry. When you need them, we'll have them.
Just a minute. If you're thinking of turning the attic into a penthouse, forget it. All right, what do you got in mind?
I gotta lug this bag up to Baldwin's room.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, Billy Joe.
Bye, Mom. Bye.
Bye, girls. Bye, girls. Where are you going?
I'm staying a couple of nights with Elsie Faye Mullins.
And I'll be at Dorothy Schaefer's house.
You can find me at Sandra Olson's.
And who gave you the permission for this sudden exodus?
Oh, Uncle Joe made all the arrangements.
That's what he had in mind.
Yeah. Well, he figured the business boom was only beginning. And if any extra guests show up, he can rent them our rooms.
And guess what? When the guests pay, we each get $1.
Put your bags down, girls.
But Mom.
Uncle Joe.
Yeah, Kate.
You know, I think that's a wonderful idea, renting out the family's rooms. Now, what's your new address so I can forward your mail?
I can't leave, Kate. I'm needed around here. What with the rooms all full, there's bags to be carried, wood to be chopped, plumbing to be plumbed, the furnace to be stoked.
Now that you've pointed it out, you can start on the furnace after you help the girls up with their bags. Oh, that Uncle Joe. He shined them all right, but why didn't he take Mr. Stevens' shoes up to his room? Bobby Joe?
She's cleaning number 5.
Billy Joe?
She's checking the linen.
Betty Joe?
I'm hanging up the wash.
And Uncle Joe's fixing the furnace, so that just leaves you and me, and I gotta put away those dishes. Oh, yes. Mr. Stevens is in room 6. You just deliver the shoes. I'll take care of the guests. Yes?
I'd like a room, please.
Oh, I have awfully good news. Every room is full.
Well, it doesn't have to be fancy. I'll take anything you have.
Well, I just finished fixing the furnace.
We really don't have a thing, but I can recommend a hotel in Pixley. I'm sure they have a vacancy.
Wait a minute, Kate. I've got an idea. We'll let you sleep in the broom closet. Might have to sleep standing up. The brooms don't mind you, why should you? Or we can put a pup tent up here in the lobby. It only costs you 35 cents a night.
Joe, out.
Pixley, huh?
I'm sorry.
Welcome to the Pixley Hotel, Mr. Gilchrist. Now, you'll be just around the corner in 103. This way, Mr. Gilchrist. You need anything, Mr. Gilchrist, you just ring. Thank you very much. Well, at least we got one guest in the hotel. What's eating you? All right. I'll split the tip right down the middle. There.
I never heard of a hotel owner taking half of a bellhop's tip. I got a notion to quit.
Now, Elroy, you wouldn't do that. Leave me all alone in this big vacant hotel with nobody to talk to?
Well, you can just go talk to that guy that Kate Bradley sent over here.
Did you have to put it that way? Think of it, me, Murdoch Sneep, owner of the magnificent Pixley Hotel, subsisting on Kate Bradley's leftovers.
I'll bet Kate Bradley wouldn't take half of a bellhop's tips. She's nice, and she is generous.
Now, Elroy, she may pull the wool over your eyes, but I can see through her. She only sent us that guest so she could rub in her success.
Hey, I bet I could bellhop at the Shady Rest. If you can't lick 'em, join me.
Elroy, that is without a doubt the most craven, callous, contemptible idea I ever heard of. Why, say, how come I didn't think of it? Here, take care of the hotel.
I'll sort the mail, Bobby Joe. Please help Betty Joe clean up number 5, huh?
Okay, Mom.
Hold it. This is no place for your lunchbox.
Yes, it is. The cash drawer's full.
Oh, thank goodness. For a minute, I thought you were taking money sandwiches to school.
Kate?
Sorry, we're all full up.
Kate, I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
Mr. Snape. Well, it's always nice to greet a fellow innkeeper. How are things at the Pixley Hotel?
Oh, fine. We're bursting at the seams. Say, it was nice of you to send over that salesman. If it hadn't been for your recommendation, we just wouldn't have bothered to squeeze him in.
Well, I'm glad you found room for him. And if you'll excuse me now, I've got to sort this money.
Kate, if you could spare a minute, I've got a business proposition for you. Now, with you doing so good and me doing so good, I think now is a propitious time for us to merge our hotels.
What'd you say?
Kate, between the two of us, we could have all the hotel business in the valley sewed up tight.
You're right, Mr. Sneep. I'd have all the full rooms, and you'd have all the empty ones.
Well, now, I've got a big city idea for the name for our two hotels. Mine would be called the Pixley House East, and yours would be called the Pixley House West. Now, Kate, an idea like this just don't happen.
Well, I don't want to appear rude, but I got a whole hotel full of guests to take care of.
Mom, that guest to number 7 is so funny. Hello, Mr. Sneep.
Hello, Billy Joe.
The Colonel was telling me about the last hotel he stayed in. The only good thing about the room were the steam pipes. And they banged.
I know. They banged so loud that he couldn't hear his teeth chattering from the draft through the broken window. I tell you, that Colonel Whitfield is a riot.
Colonel Whitfield? Why, he stayed at the Pixley Hotel for 15 years. Kate Bradley, you hijacked my best customer.
I did no such thing. He came here of his own free will.
You just listen to me, Kate Bradley. By the time I get through with this place, it'll be known as the Poor House West.
Oh, come on, Charlie.
Floyd, I'm not creeping the cannonball along at 8 miles an hour with you on the cowcatcher.
But, Charlie, it's the only way I can count them.
This may come as a surprise to you, Floyd. Nobody gives a darn about how many railroad ties there are between Hooterville and Pixley. There's Kate. Look at all the packages.
Come on, let's help.
Here, we'll give you a hand.
Oh, thank you, boys.
Here, Kate, you ain't carrying nothing.
Uncle Joe.
You'd have saved yourself a lot of trouble if you'd taken that from me in the first place. Advertising the Pixley Hotel. Somebody around here's a Benedictine Arnold.
I ain't seen him. Maybe he was the stranger that got off at Steuben's Bluff.
I'm referring to the sign.
Ain't it a doozy? Would you believe it, Kate? For carrying that sign, Murdoch Sneap is paying us 10 cents a run.
Hey, Kate, look. A home away from home, the Pixley Hotel.
Pixley Hotel, we begin where the Waldorf quits.
That crook Sneap has undercut us. That's 50 cents cheaper than our rates.
Well, if he can cut his rates and stay in business, that's up to him.
Well, Kate, we didn't think you'd mind letting him put his signs up there. After all, your hotel's full.
Not only full, we got a waiting list. No, I don't mind at all.
Gee, that's nice of you, Kate. At 10 cents a run for 8 runs a day, that's 80 cents. We can use the money.
Yeah, we're saving up to buy Floyd a safety belt so he won't fall off of the cowcatcher while he's counting ties.
Okay, let's cut the gab and get this wood-burning roller coaster moving.
Now hear this, folks. The fabulous Pixley is the Valley's only high-rise hotel. Enjoy relaxed living 3 stories above the noise of the city.
You traitor, you.
That isn't nice. After all, Mr. Sneap has a right to advertise his hotel. You see, competition is what made America so great.
Kate, we didn't have nothing to do with it.
We'll rip it down.
Well, advertising the Pixley Hotel on Shady Rest property is carrying things a little too far. Uncle Joe, you help him.
Hold it, fellas. I think I got a better idea. That, Sneap, is only the beginning.
There it is. There it is. Why, you double-crossers, we had an agreement.
Well, the Shady Rest outbid you. They're giving us 12 cents a run.
And remember, competition is the sincerest form of battery.
Well, I just can't stand the sight of that thing. You put my sign back up there, and I'll give you 15 cents a run.
Mr. Sneap, our loyalty is not for sale.
Well, 25 cents a run.
The cannonball cannot be bought at any price.
Just look at that unsightly sleeve. And look at that collar. Yeah.
For crying out loud, Mr. Sneap, your clothes would be dirty, too, if you ate in a Pixley diner every day.
Well, there's no reason why 2 distinguished-looking, handsome railroad men have to go around in soiled uniforms. I'll tell you what, just to show you I'm a decent fella, let me at least provide you with clean uniforms.
What do you think, Charlie?
Well, Mr. Sneap, you might be a fink, but you're the nicest fink we know. Floyd, get this old train to rolling. Look, we got clean uniforms.
Fine. What is that?
You know who had them cleaned?
You have not answered my question. What is that thing doing there?
What thing?
Kate, there's no doubt about it. Sneap's out to get you. Turning Floyd and Charlie into billboards and running them free home movies. That's hitting below the belt, and you've got to hit back.
That's what he wants. If we just ignore him, maybe he'll forget all this nonsense.
What do women know? You gotta fight fire with fire. I know where I can lay my hands on just the thing to top his home movies. All All right, let's keep them slides moving. You're doing more eating than viewing. Hey, mister, don't be so sloppy with that whipped cream. Next person that views this slide will think there's snow on Bleeker's Hill.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, now that you've all enjoyed the slides, let's all go out on the porch for some sunshine and recreation. Joe, leave the guests alone, or you're going to drive them straight into the Pixie Hotel.
But, Kate, they're eating so much you're losing money.
I appreciate your help, but this is strictly between me and Murdoch Sneep. Well, gentlemen, would you like to join in the fun?
Fine. Where is it?
Oh, it's all around. There's checkers and cribbage and pinochle, and if you're in real good shape, there's a brisk game of horseshoes going on over there.
Look, Mrs. Bradley, the rooms are fine, the food is great, and the price is right. But we're from Chicago, and horseshoes and checkers aren't exactly our idea of fun.
Oh. Well, if it's a lot of action you want, the girls are out collecting bullfrogs, and things should be really jumping around here about 4 o'clock.
Those kind of things might be very exciting for Hooterville, but they're not for us. Tennis? Skeet shooting? Now that's for us. Let's go pack.
Bye, Mrs. Bradley.
Folks, wait a minute. We'll put in ping pong, shuffleboard, volleyball. Parcheesi. Hey, Parcheesi.
Elroy, show Mr. Fenwick and Mr. Graham to room 308.
Right this way, please. Look, Sneep, now that we got guests, how about me getting paid?
Elroy, you're just gonna have to wait. Renting that bugle and the sandwich sign set the hotel back $9.
You won't be needing all of those, Mom.
Oh, no. Who now?
Mr. and Mrs. Goldsmith.
Oh, well, I suppose tennis and skeet shooting are more exciting than pitching horseshoes and watching bullfrogs. Guess Mr. Sneep's got the upper hand.
Mom!
Oh, did you set the table, dear?
I can't find a tablecloth.
Oh, for land's sake, there's a whole drawer full of them in the sideboard. I don't know why I have to do everything. You know, you girls just don't look. I'm sorry, Bobby Joe, I forgot they're all in the laundry. Well, there's only one way out. We're going to have to use my good green tablecloth. Was there this morning? Now, what on earth happened to my green tablecloth?
A little more to the right, Mr. Barrett, you'd have had yourself a birdie.
Uncle Joe, have you seen my green tablecloth?
Formerly a tablecloth. I upclassed it to a putting green.
Well, you can unclass it. I want it washed, ironed, the whole patched, and on the table in 20 minutes.
Kate, wait till the folks read my ad in the Pixley Times-Picayune. We'll make so much money with this golf course that you can buy a whole drawer full of the green tablecloths.
Uncle Joe.
I got feelers out to have Arnold Palmer take over as the pro. Hey, wasn't that the desk bell?
15 minutes.
Welcome back, Mr. Humphreys. Your old room is ready for you.
Tell Arnold Palmer we'll give him free room and board.
We invite you to partake of the delectable delicacies available daily at the Pixley Hotel and only at the Pixley. Delicious, isn't it, madam? These magnificent desserts are a climax of the free meal served to each and every guest. And now...
May I have your attention? Remember, folks, every day's Thanksgiving Day at the Shady Ranch.
I'm all finished, Mom.
This is a fine business. The hotel is full up and we're losing money.
It's gonna get worse if you keep serving turkey every day.
Well, Betty Jo, we may be falling behind on turkey, but we're way ahead on feather dusters. Which reminds me, the dining room needs dusting.
Do you have a room?
Oh, well, you're in luck. We've got one single left.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Murdoch Snoop.
Kate, you're wiping me out. I thought I knew every trick in the book, but you've outwitted me at every turn. I'm here to eat crow.
Well, then you'll have to go to the Pixley Hotel dining room. All we're serving here is turkey.
Kate, I'm nearly bankrupt. Let's call off this dreadful war.
Mr. Sneap, you mean it?
Indeed, I do. I just want to stay here and see how an honest woman operates her establishment.
No more cutting throats.
On my honor.
4.
Did a ball come in here? Yeah, a foul ball. Showing your face around here. You got more cheek than a glass blower.
Uncle Joe, Mr. Sneap is a guest.
A guest? Why, that dirty
As
old...
long as he pays his bill, we treat him like a guest.
Kate, in all recorded history, there's never been a Sneap that was any good. At the time of the Revolution, it was a Sneap that tied an anchor on Paul Revere's horse's tail to slow him down.
Uncle Joe, number 7.
Kate, what's holding up my pancakes?
I can't get him up with this thing. Do you have a hockey stick?
What's the matter with you, Kate? You look half asleep.
Well, I didn't rest very well last night, kind of all the noise.
Noise? I slept like a log.
Kept hearing the strangest sounds in the walls and the ceiling,
Morning,
all
Kate.
over the... Oh, Mr. Sneap, did you sleep well last night?
Yes, fine, thank you.
Then the noises didn't bother you.
No. Matter of fact, I'm rather fond of bees.
Oh, bees? What bees?
Those bees.
Oh. Mr. Sneap, not even you would do a contemptible...
Listen to the buzzing of their merry little wings.
How did you get the bees in here?
You don't think I had clothes in both my suitcases, do you?
Miss Bradley, I'm checking out of here.
Listen,
Me
Kate.
too.
Sounds like your guests are checking out, Kate. Wait for me, folks, and you can follow me over to the Pixley Hotel. It's guaranteed to be completely bee-free.
The coast is clear.
Ain't this carrying it a little too far?
Remember, Sneap asked for it. Now remember, you're a Hooterville skunk and this is Pixley, so give it all you got.
Let me out of here.
Let me get some fresh air. Oh, boy.
Now, Kate, I know I had it coming, but you just gotta let me stay here. Why, it's gonna be at least a week before the Pixley Hotel gets aired out. Now, so, Kate, now, come on, now, how about it?
Well...
I promise I'll never try to swipe your guests again.
What guests?
Well, all the ones that stormed out here from my place.
Well, I don't know where they went, but they sure didn't come to the Shady Rest.
Oh, Kate, now, please, let's call off this silly feud.
You're the one that started...
No. Are you out of your minds? Here's a box of candy for you, Mrs. Bradley, and a box of cigars for you. Just keep that feud going. That's just a little token of appreciation. I'm Howard Buskirk, the new owner of the Crabwell Corners Ritz. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get back to my hotel, full of paying guests. Bye.
gonna film Way's presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
Uncle Joe, have you seen this stack of overdue bills?
Put them there with the rest of my paperwork, and I'll check them over as quick as I can.
I've already checked them over. What they need now is paying.
Well, if you're satisfied they're in order, go ahead and pay them.
What'll I use for money?
We broke again?
We are. Uncle Joe, this is serious. Until business gets better, somebody has to go out and find a job.
Well, if you feel that way about it, but I wouldn't take the girls out of school now.
Neither would I. So that leaves you.
Of course, Billy Joe's only in secretarial school.
Uncle Joe, stop stalling. Now, the mortgage has to be paid. Doc Stewart hasn't been paid in months. And poor Sam Drucker, I'm getting so I'm ashamed to go in his store.
Kate, if I was selfish enough to go out and get a job, who would manage the hotel?
Same person that's been managing it.
Who'd do the bellhop?
Without guess, we don't need a bellhop. There's the train. Happy hunting. And you go with him.
Oh, Kate, a man out hunting work ain't got no time to keep his eye on a dog.
Well, you've got it backwards, Uncle Joe. He's going to keep an eye on you.
Come on.
Howdy, Joe.
Ziffel, I got something I want to ask you, and I want the truth.
You do, huh? What is it?
Did you tell the boys down in the barber shop I'd be the last man in the county you'd ever give a job to?
No, I didn't say that. What I did say was, you'd be the last man on earth I'd ever give a job to.
Thanks, Fred. You're a real friend. Hi, lad.
Oh, hi, Joe. What can I do for you?
Well, to tell the truth, I'm looking for work. No, I mean it, lad. I thought I might make a few bucks picking apples for you.
You know as well as I do that the apple picking season is over.
Now, how could I make a dumb mistake like that? Well, so long, lad.
Oh, hold on, Joe. I've got some plums that are ripe.
Who asked you anything about plums? Now, none of this to Kate, or I won't take you to no more matinees. Oh, that Blanche sweet. How could Noah Barry push a nice gal like that off a cliff? Oh, it's only 4 o'clock. It's too early to go home. We better knock around town for another hour or so. Why should you be hungry? I'm the one that's been looking for a job. Well, all right. You know, you're getting kind of chubby. You better take some exercise while I'm finishing my snack.
You're a pest. 5 o'clock. That's a good full day of job hunting for anybody. You're wasting your time. There ain't anything in Pixley worth digging up. Come on, let's get back to the hotel before we miss supper. Now look what you've done. All that fuss and dirt, and what do you got? Just a rusty old tin can. Come on, leave that can alone. Take that money bag and put it in the can. Money! What do you know? Can money. Wonder who'd bury money? Oh, well, finders keepers. Don't worry, you'll get your share.
Come sneaking in just because you didn't find a job?
Yeah. Hi, Kate.
Hardly anybody finds anything the first day. You'll have better luck tomorrow. You trying to tell me something, boy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's trying to tell you we both had a tough day. I'd better get up to my room.
Mom, was that Uncle Joe? Did he get a job?
Oh, gee, what are we going to do about all those bills?
I don't know. Only we could find a way to dig up some money.
Mouth, you almost gave the whole thing away. You keep your mouth shut and let's figure out what we're going to do with this money. Of course, you and me, we know this money's been abandoned. Kate will probably look at it differently than us men of the world. Look at that. We tapped a leak in Fort Knox. Who is it?
It's Kate, Uncle Joe.
Just a minute, Kate.
Uncle Joe, let me have your pants. I just want to press them so they'll look nice tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Well, yes, when you go job hunting again.
Oh, yeah, job hunt. I thought that's what you meant. I'll give them to you later, Kate.
Oh, fine.
Look at that. Tens, 20s, hundreds. Must be thousands of dollars here, and it's all mine. Carson, your day has arrived. It's time to cast off the shackles of the small town and fulfill your destiny. Ah, I can see you now. Suave, debonair. New York at your feet.
Here's your cane, Diamond Joe.
Keep it as a tip.
It's solid gold.
Pardon me, Diamond Joe.
What is it, Delmonico?
I'm afraid you made a mistake. I found this $50 bill under your plate.
You were right, Delmonico. I did make a mistake. I meant to leave 100. Well, girls, where shall it be? Greenwich Village, Maxime's, or Old Bailey?
Oh, I know a darling new place over in Brooklyn.
Yeah, but with the traffic the way it is, we won't get there till morning.
Ah, but I anticipated that already, girls. This afternoon, I bought the Brooklyn Bridge. That's the life for me. You keep out of this. I got a right to lead my own life. He'll get along without me.
Watch it, Diamond Joe. You'll get your Argyle shoelaces soggy.
Allow me, Diamond Joe.
There's nothing like being in the chips.
Please, kind sir, would you burn my violets?
No, it can't be.
Anything you can spare, sir.
It isn't much, Mom, but all I could get from the pawnbroker was 18 cents for my baseball bat and glove.
I was lucky, Mom. The man in the bookshop gave me 22 cents for my copy of Ivanhoe.
Mom, I was so weak from hunger I dropped the typewriter, and all the man would give me for it was $1.85.
Well, we have porridge tonight. But what will the morrow bring? Sir, 'twas not always thus. Once I owned a fine hotel. And then my uncle left us. And when he left, everything went from bad to worse. We lost the hotel. Well, you can see the rest for yourself.
No, I can't let that happen to Kate. You're still young, Carson. Your kind of debonair will always be in style. I'm going to put you where you'll do the most good.
Yeah, I got that. I'll be another minute, Kate.
But, Mom, it's only 59 cents a yard.
No.
Is that a little no or a big no?
It's a wish I could say yes, no.
Oh, Mom.
Bobby, Joe, our bill is too big now.
All right, Kate. What can I do for you?
Well, first you can tell Bobby Joe how much my bill is.
I'm afraid I'll have to check on that information. You're all paid up.
Gee, now maybe I can get enough material for a skirt, too.
Sam, I'm not going to let you do it.
Do what?
Cancel out my bill.
I didn't cancel out your bill. This morning there was an envelope under the door, and it had enough cash in it to pay you up in full.
Oh, look, Sam. It's too late for Santa Claus and too early for April Fool. You must have applied it to the wrong customer.
Well, you're Kate Bradley of the Shady Rest Hotel, ain't you?
Yeah.
It said in big block letters, apply on Kate Bradley's account.
What's the matter, Mom?
I'm surprised. I don't know who to thank or what to do.
I know what you should do. You should follow the advice of Teddy Roosevelt. Charge!
That'll be Mom. I sure do dread giving her this batch of bad news.
Hi, girls. We're home.
Oh, girls, the most wonderful thing happened. You won't believe it. When I went into Sam's store with Bobby Joe, I was feeling pretty low. And all of us... mortgage payment, plumbing bill, Doc Stewart. I knew it wouldn't last. Paid up, they're all paid up.
Larry. He's a nice man.
Yes, he's nice, all right, but with a wife and 7 children, where would he get the money to pay our bills?
I guess you're right.
I've got it. I've got it.
Who is it?
Hooterville has a Robin Hood. You know the story. He stole from the rich and gave to the poor.
Oh.
Well, I don't think it's so funny.
If Robin Hood had to live off the rich people in Hooterville, he'd spend all his time at the unemployment office.
Well, I don't see you two coming up with any brilliant ideas.
Girls, don't wait for Uncle Joe. Your food's going to get cold.
We've been trying to figure out who our mystery benefactor is.
Got any ideas?
I laid awake all night last night staring at the ceiling. And finally, about dawn, I came to a conclusion.
What conclusion?
My room needs a new ceiling. I'm no better off at guessing than you girls. I simply have no idea.
No idea about what, Kate?
Oh, about who our mystery benefactor is.
You ain't?
Mm-mm.
That's the chicken.
Oh, serve you.
Uncle Joe, have you got any idea who could have paid all our bills?
Who, me? I don't know no more than he does.
I've got it. It's Mr. Schroeder who owns the Pixie Emporium. He's got a lot of money.
That's a very good possibility.
No, it ain't.
Well, how can you be so positive?
Well, for one thing, he's too cheap to buy a dummy to stand in the window. Schroeder makes his own mother stand there from 10 until 4.
Sure.
You can rest assured it ain't Schroeder.
Oh, maybe it's...
It ain't him.
Oh, I didn't even say.
No, you're wasting your time guessing. Anybody smart enough to outwit Sam Drucker, the Pixley Bank, and the plumber, is too smart to give himself away.
Your Uncle Joe is right. Eat your dinner, girls. You've got your homework, and Uncle Joe has to go job hunting in the morning.
Job hunting? What for? All our bills are paid.
Well, that's today. We got tomorrow to worry about.
Surprised at you, Kate. Where's your faith?
What's my faith got to do with it?
Well, if the need comes, the money will be there.
What?
No mysterious benefactor worth his salt is going to stop benefacting right in the middle of a job.
Eat your dinner, Uncle Joe. You're going job hunting in the morning.
Thanks. Joe, quit handling them cigars. No buying, no sniffing.
Buying? Give me a box of them Perfectos.
Now, let's get this straight. It's Kate's credit that's good, not yours.
Who said anything about credit? This is for cash. And I fooled you, didn't I?
No, you just wheedled the girls out of their allowance.
All right, let's cut out the jokes. This is a story, ain't it? How about some service?
Hey, fellas, did you hear the news?
It's all over town.
You mean about Joe buying cigars?
No, they finally caught that fella that robbed the Crabwell Corners Bank.
No fooling.
Yeah.
Well, that was over a year ago. Where's he been hiding?
Over in Pixley, living there, bold as you please, posing as a barber from South St. Louis.
Fooled him for a year, huh? That feller must have been pretty smart.
Not especially.
What do you mean by that?
Well, ever since he gave me this haircut, I haven't been able to do a thing with it.
Better than Twitchy Thompson could do.
What about the money? They got any of that back?
Not a cent. The sheriff thinks he's got it buried around Pixley someplace.
I gotta go.
What about the cigars?
Forget about
Uncle Joe? The way you go tiptoeing around, you'd think you were a thief. Aren't you home early?
Will something come up out of town?
You got a job.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, wonderful. When do you start?
Right away. Get off of there. All your fault. Turned me into a criminal. Made me an accomplice to a robber. When you dug out that money, you should have known it was stolen money. Honest people just don't go and bury money and forget about it. I'm going to try to get this money back to the bank. But if anything goes wrong, I'm not taking the rap alone.
minute. You almost forgot this.
Kate!
Kate!
Hey,
Where are
Kate!
you, Kate?
Hey, Kate!
Hey, Kate! Where are you,
Kate!
Kate? Hey! Charlie, let me do it. Kate, make Charlie let me ring the bell.
What do you want to ring the bell for?
Get you out here.
I am here.
Oh, Charlie, she's here.
Now, mind telling me what all the ruckus is about?
We've got news for you. The sheriff stopped the train and searched it.
Well, what did he search the train for?
Well, they're looking all over for the missing bank money.
Yeah, and the sheriff's men may even search the Shady rest.
Well, that's okay with me. Although they're sure wasting their time looking for any kind of money in this place.
It's closing in on us. We gotta get out of here. It ain't no use. That sheriff could track a white mouse in a blizzard. It's all on account of you. You know what's gonna happen to us? Warden, for 5 years I've been telling you, we didn't steal that money. We found it. Let us out of here. Let us out of here. We're innocent. Let us out of here. Let us out of here. Let us out of here. We're innocent. You'll never believe it. Even I don't believe it. What are we going to do? There's only one thing to do. We know nothing about this. Never even seen the money before. Okay?
Isn't that girl down yet? Betty Jo, your breakfast's gonna get cold.
Be right there.
Going looking for a job this morning, Uncle Joe?
Please, Kate, not when a man's eating.
Sorry, Mom. I was listening to the news on the radio. They recovered the missing bank money.
Where'd the sheriff dig it up?
Oh, he didn't. The police in South St. Louis found it.
What?
The bandit's girlfriend had it hidden in her apartment.
Excuse me.
Where are you going?
In the fix, I got a job to do.
But you haven't finished your breakfast.
Work comes first. Get me in a fix as quick as you can.
We'll be leaving in a minute.
Hi, boys. Would you like some coffee?
Oh, we can't. We just come by to see if we could borrow a pick and a shovel.
Yeah, come with us and join the treasure hunt.
What treasure hunt?
The one in Pixley.
Kate, Ed Pulley was leading his dog across a vacant lot last night, and the mutt dug up a can of money.
Now everybody and his dog is digging.
You better come along, Kate.
No, thanks, fellas, but it sounds like something Uncle Joe'd be interested in. Uncle Joe, why don't you... Where'd he go?
Money. Money. Money.
Peoticoat Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.